I can calculate the markup percent of an item. That's not too hard. What is a markup? A markup is the difference between the cost of a good and its selling price. So, if these sunglasses actually cost $22 to make, but then the company that's selling them actually sells them for $85, that's two different pieces of information there. Means that there's going to be a price tag on these sunglasses of $85. How much did it cost to actually make them? $22. So there's a difference between your selling price and how much it actually costs to make the sunglasses. Now, how do we find this markup percent of an item? Well, basically, you would do this. Find the difference between the cost and the price. So the cost is always going to be cheaper. Okay, so I would put that one there. And let's just put selling price first. So selling price minus the cost. And then let's just put the cost on the bottom right here. Now that looks like a very wicked formula, but basically let's just go plug in information. What's our selling cost? $85. So the selling price right here is the $85. Then we're going to subtract the cost, which is $22. And then we're going to put that over cost again. What was our cost? Again, it was $22. And what it's going to do is set up the idea of, okay, 85 minus 22 is 63, and our cost is on the bottom. We now have a fraction. This is going to be the amount of extra money made from marking up that cost, and we're going to divide it by the original cost. And 63 divided by 22 gets us 2.86. And that's rounding to the nearest hundredth there. And this is a decimal, okay? And we want percent, so just slide it over 2 spots, and there is your percent. So, what percent of markup the store has on the, what is the percent of markup the store has on the sunglasses? A 286% markup, which is, I'm not going to say huge. I'm not going to blow it out of proportion, but that's a healthy markup on there. They're not just making pennies off of it. It's going to cost them $22, and then it's going to be almost 3 times the price on top of it. What do you say we take a look at a few other of these percent markup questions and see how you do? What's the percent markup of the shorts? Well, let's see. The original price was $8.50. It took to manufacture it, and they're going to sell them for $20. So let's subtract these two, and quickly we figure out that that'd be $11.50. But we have to have the cost on the bottom. Let's move that to the bottom. And what's 1150 divided by 850? We get 1.352. So let's just round that to the 5. And then we just slide that on over, and that would be 135% markup. So again, it's another healthy markup there. But it's not outrageous, because I mean, how many of you would pay for $20 for a pair of shorts? Most people would if they like them. Let's take a look at the cars. And let's say it cost a company $8,325 to actually make the car, okay? And they're going to sell it for $14,500, so it's a small compact car. So let's find the difference so we can know how much they marked up the price there. Let's see, 14,500 minus 8,325 is $6,175. Now, we always put the original cost on the bottom also. And that carries over here, and this gives us our fraction. So it's the amount of money that they marked the price up divided by the original cost to make the product. And this one, it's not as much, but it's still a nice healthy percentage. 74% basically is what it rounds to. So it's a 74% markup. on the cost of that car. Now, if you're actually in business, you could take a look at that and start figuring out what your overhead and your costs and everything that's going to take to stay in business. And then if need be, if the sales were a little bit slower than you'd like, you can actually start decreasing the markup, until the customer's got a sale. Maybe you've got a 30% off sale. Well, that would still be a healthy percentage of profit that you're making even while you're running that sale. There's a few other types of percent markup questions though. And in this type of question, basically they're going to tell you what the percentage markup is, and the cost of the truck is not your sale price. That's just actually how much they cost to buy it. Let's say that you were at a used car lot and you paid a customer $16,800 for their truck, and you want to make a 29% profit off of that. Well, basically what you have to do then is flip this over to a decimal and multiply it by the cost that you had in it. And it gives you the answer of, let's see, 0.29 times 16,800 is 4,872. And you should be familiar enough with percents at this point to know that 4,872 is literally 29% of 16,800. So this is going to be your markup amount, okay? That's your markup. And if they want to know what the selling price is, you add this markup to your original cost. So here's $16,800, and you just add on the 4,872. And let's see. That tells us that if you want a 29% markup, you need to put this price tag on the truck to sell again, $21,672. How about you just pause the video and see if you can find the selling price after you've marked up the price for these shorts and for the hat. Okay, here we go. So we do 0.50 times 850. And that tells us that they're going to be marking the price up by $4.25. And so the new selling price, we just add the 425 onto the 850. $12.75 will be the selling price of these shorts with that comes from that 50% markup. And right here we go, 0.85 representing 85% times $19.95. I'm guessing $17 or $18. Let's see. $16.96 is what that rounds to the nearest penny. $16.96. And so we just go ahead and add that directly to, I'll put a plus sign right here, directly to the $19.95. And that would be $36.91. That would be the selling price. So that's what we're doing with the markups. Remember, there's going to be times where they just give you two different pieces of information that are not percent oriented. They'll tell you how much it costs to make or how much it costs to buy it. And then they'll tell you the new selling price. You just basically find the difference of those two and put it into a fraction of that difference over the original cost and divide top by bottom. You'll get a decimal, move it over 2 spots, and that's your percent markup. If they give you the percent of markup and they're wanting to know the sale price, well, just like we did here for the hat problem, find out whatever percent of markup it is of that cost, and then add it on, and that gives you your new selling price.